Good morning, everyone. This is James Reeves. Got some big news from the MMA world from UFC 199. I just woke up not too long ago. You can tell by the hair and stuff. I don't really care, and I gotta go to work here soon. 199 is in the book, and just unbelievable news and shock and all, I guess. From earlier in the day, I guess. Let's just start with earlier in the day with the passing of Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest of all time in any sport, boxing. He was one of the greatest boxers of all time. He was an ambassador. He was everything. I mean, it was just. I didn't really get to see a lot of his matches. I know that they're on YouTube, but pound for pound, best in the world at that time, greatest of all time. His fights with Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, George Foreman ranks up there as the best in boxing ever. And he would be truly missed as an ambassador, as a father, as a husband, and a goodwill man. So there was a lot of tributes out there in Twitter, everywhere, social media, and UFC last night. Speaking of which, like I said on my show on YouTube, that I was gonna dabble into different sports and different areas. This is going to be the UFC special. 199 is in the book, and we have Michael Bisping beating Ben Rottweiler last night. And what's a lot of people said it was a huge upset, but no, it wasn't an upset to me. I think I knew right from the start that Bisping was going to be a champion. It was just a matter of when he was going to be the champion. So congratulations to Michael Bisping on winning the UFC welterweight title. I do believe. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to botch or butcher it. But he is the first ever European champion for UFC. So I'm kind of glad for that. Still waiting for a European-born WWE champion, which would have been amazing. William Reeves should have already done that, but I don't know for what reasons. But Michael Bisping is the champion now. I feel like he's gonna have a long reign. His game is just so tight right now. So, congrats to him. And then Dominic Cruz beating Uriah Faber last night in the going the distance, of which I'm a huge Uriah Faber fan. If you remember back in the WEC days, he was just tremendous. He done so many things in the ring, and then he transitioned over to UFC when WEC got bought out by UFC. So Uriah Faber came in, and he's still on top of his game. I think it's just a matter of time when he gets the belt. So hopefully here soon. So Uriah Faber, I don't think it was a lot. I mean, Dominic Cruz is a dominant champion, and Uriah Faber is just coming up here soon. I mean, he's been in the game for a long time, so I'm not worried about it. So I heard nothing but great things about that fight. The other news is, well, I guess there was a couple of news that came out of UFC 199. The first one, which kind of shocks me a lot, depending on what side you're on. And I just listened to it when I woke up on ESPN, and I wanted to go to BW3's last night and watch the fight, but I just didn't sleep all day, and I had tremendous amount of homework, stuff to do around the apartment, and just kind of messed around on eBay for a while. But the first news is UFC 202, the rematch between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. It's going to finally happen. Deservingly, I think those two won in the fight. I wish it would have been on UFC 200, but we're going to get it at UFC 202. Cannot wait for that. McGregor is out for blood, out for revenge. I think it's going to be a tremendous storyline. Wherever I mean, whatever you go with. I mean, McGregor, the face of the UFC, and Diaz is wanting to be the face of the UFC, and I think he deservingly wants that position because I think from what the interviews I've heard and everything that has been said that he feels slated after his win over Conor McGregor. But it's going to be just a huge money match right there, regardless. Still riding with McGregor, pound for pound. I think any division you can think of. I think McGregor is the best in the UFC right now. He's the face of the UFC, and he has made Dana White and the UFC a lot of money, but that's beside the point. But just his talent alone inside the octagon, just unbelievable. So I cannot wait for that. The second news, which why I'm shocked and surprised, but not really, is that Brock Lesnar, the Beast, a lot of fans known him in the WWE days, back in the day, and his current run in the WWE is now on the card for UFC 200, which is a month away. I don't know what to really think about this. This is about a month away. I don't know if he's been training for this. I don't know if he's. I mean, I understand the aspects and the everything else about it because he had tuberculosis. What is that disease? I'm not trying to butcher it. It starts with D. I'm not trying to butcher it because it's Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar would beat the shit out of me. Let's just say that right now. But Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC, an opponent has not been named yet, but it's a month away. Regardless, I don't care. I mean, I started thinking about this. It's like regardless. I mean, the man is a freaking machine. He can probably, if he didn't need training, he'd probably go in there and probably still put 1,000% in there and probably still beat the hell out of someone. It's gonna be probably the co-main event because the main event is John Jones versus John Jones is gonna be in the main event. So I believe I gotta look at that. But Brock Lesnar being back in the UFC is just basically a shock to me because the contract that he has with WWE, which then Chael Sutton said this on ESPN when I watched this, that I guess Dana White leased Brock Lesnar to Vince, and then he said that anytime I want, come back. So that's a well-played move by Dana White. I don't think anyone has really thought about that. So I went on Twitter and said congrats Dana White to bringing back Brock Lesnar to the UFC. I think it's going to be an amazing match regardless of fight. Brock Lesnar, accolades, you can already know, former NCAA heavyweight champion, former 3 or 4 time WWE champion, former NCAA heavyweight champion, former UFC heavyweight champion, former undisputed heavyweight champion of the UFC. It just has so many tremendous fights with in his time in UFC. The one that I remember the most, Randy Couture, when he beat Randy for the belt. His first match, I forget who he fought. And I'm a student of UFC. I watch UFC. I'm trying to remember who the hell he fought. Man, I'm drawing a blank, but he's been in the UFC. He knows the game. He's gonna do just fine, regardless. So it's gonna be an interesting time next month. So UFC 200, the 200th pay-per-view of that promotion, is gonna be just balls to the walls, regardless. Just like UFC 100. When I do believe Lesnar was on UFC 100, if I do remember, because I remember watching it. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that, but UFC 200 is going to be off the chain. As you know, I watch any type of form of fighting, UFC, any mixed martial arts, WWE, um, anything. I study every aspect of it. Another thing, off topic. Everyone, it's been. I've been racking my brain about a title for my YouTube channel, and I had a friend of mine on Twitter. I'm kind of joking around with him, and I do believe I might have came up with the title. I'm bouncing it off on him. You can follow him at Nick Manawa, Pro Wrestling's BFF, Pro Wrestling's best friend forever. He is just tremendous, a great guy. He knows his stuff with IWA Mid South. If you don't know IWA Mid South, follow them at Twitter on IG IWA Mid South Wrestling. Been around for 16 years. Had talent coming out of that company. CM Punk, Matt Sydal, Alex Selly, Chris Sabin, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Michael Elgin, who comes there time for time, Chris Hero. I can name a lot of people from there. I'm just coming off from the top. Ricochet's been there. Drake Ward's, who is the NXT ref, has been through IWA Mid South. You had Scotty Vortex, Die Hard Dustin Lee, OMG. Who else I can think of? Mitch Page, and yeah, Nick Gage, and all them. It's just a tremendous atmosphere. If you ever wanted to go to an independent show, go to IWA Mid South. It's worth your time and money to see some of the top talent in that area, in the Kentuckiana areas. I will put over IWA Mid South all day long. I've been to a couple shows back in the day, and around their heyday, basically in 05, 06. Went to a couple of deathmatch tournaments before I was starting training for pro wrestling. But I tell you what, you will not be disappointed. Ian Rodden runs a tight ship, and I've got Reed Bentley, the champion. Reed Bentley's just a tremendous wrestler. I've known him for a while, and he's done some great things. So, like I said, follow IWA Mid South on Twitter, IG, IWA Mid South Wrestling. But like I said, Nick Manawa, I kind of joked around with him, and hopefully he'll get back with me, and I'll kind of debut the title probably next show, and I'll get a little intro for this for the page here. There's been a couple of people that have been looking at my page, looking at what I'm doing. I'm still having one subscriber. Thank you, Isaac. Still waiting on more subscribers. Guess I'm not getting over too much on this, but I'm still fairly new. I'm trying to bounce off things, and I've gotten a couple new devices now for relatively cheap. So it's going to be a little bit interesting. I've kind of stepped up my technical game, so to speak. As you know, I'm trying to go for my IT degree in my associates here for the University of Phoenix. Shout out to University of Phoenix. Right on. So that is that for the special UFC edition of my show. As you know, follow me on Twitter, James Reeves at Colts, capital C, Colts fan, James H. James Reeves, look at me. I'm on Twitter most of the time. Probably going to be on Instagram here soon again. Not on Facebook. Don't hit me up on Facebook. I've had a couple people ask me about that. Not going to get into specifics about that. Will not be on Facebook anymore. So that is gone. I've gotten all my pictures off of Facebook. No more Facebook. If you want to ask me a question, send it to my YouTube, or you can email me at James H. Here, all lowercase, James H. 092381 at yahoo.com. I'll have probably a Google account set up here soon again. Thinking about it, so you can send out more questions, what you thought about the show, any questions you want to ask of me, what you want me to do with the show. As you know, I'm in the one bedroom apartment again. Nothing much going on here. Just another Sunday. I gotta get ready for work here in a little bit, but I just want to touch base on the UFC 199 pay per view. UFC 200 next month. Check it out. Follow UFC at UFC on Twitter, Instagram. I think it was UFC, Facebook. You can follow Dana White at Dana White at UFC. On Twitter, I think it's Dana White. Give him some shout outs. He always appreciates it, I guess. I mean, I don't talk to the man, but I mean, he's on Facebook. So, I mean, Twitter's all the time, I think. Social media, always a big blessing for UFC fans. And Cubs won again. They're going to go for the sweep over today. Who the hell are they playing? And this is how much I keep up with the Cubs because I don't have cable, and I'm not going to pay for cable. I'm going to look at that before I say anything. I know Jake Arrieta is on the mound. The man, Jake Arrieta, follow him at Jake Arrieta on Twitter. Follow the Cubs on Twitter, on Cubs, Chicago Cubs. Hopefully, I'm going to go make a trip back to Chicago here relatively soon. Like I said, I haven't been back to Chicago in quite some time. I have family and friends over there. Might go catch a Cubs game. Looking on eBay yesterday for Cubs tickets, so we're going to do that. Oh, I'm on eBay now, so I've had a string of bad luck in the past, but I've gotten a couple things last night because I guess I'm finally realizing I'm manic depressant. I guess I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know, it's what it is in my life. I did get a couple baseball cards. I got like a whole lot of baseball cards. I used to collect baseball cards when I was a kid. So, and if you know my brothers, they'll tell you we had mounds and mounds and mounds of baseball cards. My father used to come home from work and just give us packs of baseball cards. Don't know what happened to all of them, but I know I sold all my basketball cards. I've had like over 2,000 basketball cards, and they were worth up to like I collect them, and they were worth money. And let's just say back in the early 2000s that I was struggling bad, and I took them in. I had an appraiser look at them, and I've had, let's just say I sold them and made a nice little month and a half living off of my cards. So that's it for right now. Follow me on Twitter, like I said. Follow me on Instagram here soon. I have a KIK. I don't know what that is. So kick, or I got that. So I have to look at that. Gonna do a little bit more on social media now that I got my new toys here. So that's it. So I will talk to you guys later. Peace.